Hello, hello. Today we are going to take a look at the Ghost Tarot with the artwork by David Corsi. And I have been interested in this for a long time. Now, this is a Lo Scarabeo deck, which means we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different languages. But I have just been so interested in this for the art. Let's go ahead and pop off this shrink wrap. I, for whatever reason, just really loved the art on this deck. Now, I've heard some people say they don't like the name Ghost Tarot, that maybe they prefer Spirit Tarot or something like that. I have no problems with it being ghost or the kitschiness of that. That doesn't make a difference for me. All right. So you've got our standard tuck box. Do you have a little sticker there that kind of gets in the way a bit? But at least this is the type of tuck box where it doesn't have a flap on the bottom too that can make it hard to put your cards away. So I just love the transparent ethereal feel of the way the ghosts are depicted here. I love this. Look how pretty. I like everything about it. But I've never held it in my hands before, so this is a tighter box, so it is, oh, it's still opened well. Okay, good. That's always good to see. And we have our little white book in with the shrink wrap. So this one doesn't have, yes, it does. It has an easy pull tab. Can I find where it ends though? Oh my gosh. There's another layer of shrink wrap. Oh my. Okay. Oh, it's not as tight in there either. That's what he said. Maybe she said. All right. So first we've got our little white book here in many different languages. So you really only have 16 pages worth of, and not really, because 2 of them are like the cover page in this spread. So there's not a lot of information in there, but that's pretty typical with Lo Scarabeo. So in the front, we have our Ghost Tarot cover card. These are the backs. I do like those. These look very fortune tellery to me, which is part of why I was drawn to them. We also have an extra card in the back, a special tarot invitation. Thank you for choosing this deck of magical cards. And then this is an invitation to join tarotassociation.net, which I think teaches you more about tarot. And this is there with Tarosophy, Tarot Associations Worldwide. With this invitation, you receive a 15% discount. So we'll put these off to the side. Now, can you guess what color I'm going to edge these? Yeah, probably black. You could also trim these down. These edges do feel a little bit rough, so I would not feel bad trimming them at all. In fact, if you look at the edges versus the corner, you can see the corner is super smooth, but the edges are rougher. But they do have nice corner rounding. Everything is good and even, but rough on all sides. However, my first impressions are that this is perfect for a little trim. But the black isn't bothersome either. So I would try keeping these the size they are at first. But if you want to trim them, you could just trim off all the black, or you could even trim the tops and bottoms and go straight down to the artwork. However, I like the fortune tellery feel of these, so I wouldn't cut off the tops and bottoms, and chances are I'm going to try leaving the black too, because I feel like my more fortune teller style decks tend to have that sort of aesthetic and design. So this video is mostly going to be a flip through, so I will probably put on some music and just comment occasionally. So here we go. In the end, I will shuffle the deck and give you my final thoughts. This reminds me of the Alice in Wonderland tarot in a tin, the Wonderland tarot that I just did a video of. These don't feel like they're coated at all. So that could be good or bad depending on how you view it. For me, I kind of like that because it means as they wear, the ink is probably just going to come off the edges, so it should wear nicely. And from what I could see from the sides, these have a slightly darker core, so it looks like, if they have a core at all. Hard to tell. But so hopefully they'll wear nicely, which is something I do look for in a deck. I love this Chariot. Not so crazy about the whip, but the ghost horses and what looks like death here and being pulled in two different directions. It's like he's got to get to two different people pretty quickly. I love this. So there's like a ghost in every card, right? So, oh, look, it's a cat and a lion, spirit of a lion. Oh, just like that girl has the spirit of a knight or a warrior, it looks like. I love that card. Oh, I have to look at the guidebook for this. Let's see what it says for strength. Oh, also notice it doesn't say titles. It just has the numbers of the major arcana. Strength, the spirit of courage. True courage cannot be seen. Strength lies not in appearance or in its use, but in the awareness of one's own value. So the girl's value of herself and the cat's value of himself. Self-esteem and silent courage are more useful than 1,000 battle cries. All right. The Hermit. The Wheel of Fortune. I love how the Hanged Man still has a rope to hang from. Even though he's a ghost. This one's a little hard to see the water down below. You just see the water here. But she still has her toes in the water. The Tower. This is so interesting. It doesn't have the lightning, but it definitely still has that spirit type of feel. Like maybe it's haunted. These were people who were in... Oh, that's creepy. If these were people who were in the tower back when it was struck by lightning, and now it's just abandoned and these are their spirits. I'm looking here. I don't know if you guys see this too. It almost looks like there's faces right here in the rocks as well. Tell me if you can see those faces. I love how she's got the stars in her eyes. Beautiful. But there's no spirit lobster. Where's the lobster? That's not a lobster. Where's my lobster ghost? Judgment. In the world. All right, this is nice. I love the ghostly take on this. Let's get into the minors, starting with the cups. It's beautiful. This normally looks very celebratory. Not here. Not here. I love this. Oh gosh, this one is so good where you're focused on your grief and sorrow and you don't look at the positive that's right there being handed to you and you just don't see it because you're so consumed in your grief. But I love that this could potentially be even the person he's grieving about. It could be a spirit guide. It could be so much trying to hand him the answer, but he's too lost in himself to see it. I like that card. I like the extra meaning that this could be somebody you know trying to help you. So to me, it almost makes me add a layer of interpretation to this to say, look out for signs. Something's trying to be communicated to you. Oh gosh, this is so nice. Look at all these choices. Imagine if when you die, you had a choice of places you could go haunt. Where would you choose? If you could choose a place to haunt, where would you choose? I'm curious. Let me know in the comments. Probably choose Hawaii on a beach somewhere. I don't know. I need to think about that one. Oh, this is beautiful. Wow. Wow, this deck is so touching. Ah, 10 of Cups. Look, when everyone dies and they're all reunited. Wow. Gosh, that's something. Spirit party. And then up here we have these symbols. So you could really cut this down. If you wanted to trim this, you could trim the sides. You could just trim the black to there, or you could trim that off entirely, especially if you wanted to use this as an oracle instead of a tarot. You could really do that because there's nothing. This would actually make a beautiful tarot instead of, I mean, a beautiful oracle instead of tarot if you wanted to. If you like reading intuitively. It's kind of a tempting idea. All right, into the Pentacles. Oh, I love that. I love that. How that's like a jester juggling. Oh, it's cool. Oh, the ghost is still working in the background. Look at her hands all bloodied. Let's take a closer look at this. This looks to me like she's been working really, really, really hard, and her spirit is trying to help. A spirit, you know, a spirit that's looking out for her is trying to help her. It also looks like she's blind. It looks like she has a blindfold on. So this is really nice extra layer. I do love decks like this where they're definitely RWS based. So they're very easy to read, but they add just a little something extra. So this would tell me you might be working really hard now, but you're not alone in that work. The universe is working with you. You just don't know it. I love that. I'm going to love reading with this deck. Yeah, he looks alone and unhappy. Look at those cobwebs holding him down. Like him, perhaps like this sometimes has to do with being frugal, or maybe he's hoarding his resources and that's holding him back quite literally. He's letting life pass him by as he's just tied down by cobwebs. Wow, I love this. People asking for help, or they have help in front of them. It's interesting that they're passing by where they could get the help, or looking at it, I mean, rather than just walking by and not seeing it, which happens in a lot of decks. Oh, come on, my heart. My heart. Maybe like something wasn't just, this one just gave me goosebumps. Maybe like something wasn't just or fair. No justice there, and he's thinking back to a time when he was happy. Or maybe it's also telling him in the, you know, the past was happy and maybe the future will be too. But perhaps you shouldn't let your present pass you by too much. Here he's holding a stone tied with string. There's some sort of meaning to that. I feel like some sort of cultural meaning for that. I don't know what it is though. Let me see if the guidebook says anything. Patience and waiting lead to small moments of eternity, but there is no eternity in solitude. That's quite beautiful. But it doesn't say the meaning of that, so that's something I'm going to have to Google. If you know what the meaning of that is, let me know in the comments below, of a rock tied with string being held like that. I just get lost in these. Love this forest. And that sky. I could path work right into this card. Not the type of deck I'd normally want to do path working with. I think it would be a little scary, but this card I could go right in there and imagine being right in that landscape. Like here, I wonder what the symbolism of the wedding dress is. Surrounded by birds. See, unlike being tied down by those cobwebs, Oh, of course. Let's go back this way. I like the sound of these. What? Where is it? Oh, here. I went past it. Same colors too. But look at the difference. Instead of being tied down and isolated, look at that happiness. Definitely shows the journey through the suit of Pence. Let's see what the guidebook says for this. This is a wedding. I didn't realize that. A wedding in the submerged chapel only brings pain. Life is for the living, but they must also live it in the darkest of moments. Ooh. This is a deck you could really sit and reflect with. I love this. Knight of Pentacles. Look at how his sword is one giant pentacle. See, a lot of cards like this I'm used to seeing a bit more happiness in, but not in this deck. Everything is filled with sorrow. When the happiest card is everyone being dead dancing together, pretty dark deck. Pretty dark deck. And our wands. Look at that spirit hand with the wand. Oh, that looks awesome. This looks so RWS, but I like the interpretation and how he's facing us. Waiting for his ship to come in. If he was a pirate, that would be super cool, but I don't think so. Doesn't look like a pirate. Beautiful. I cannot wait to work with this deck. I really like it. I think it's a little dark, a little scary, but certainly not overly done. I think because it's eerie, it's the kind of scary I like. It's not overdone. It just is. It just has a more sorrowful feel to it. Definitely going to be a big fall deck to work with for me. As we head into the darker time of year. Probably really good for light shadow work as well. Love these knight cards. Although I'm surprised because this is usually a knight of passion and his horse isn't moving, whereas the Pentacles, which I think is, you know, the slowest knight, well, he's not moving either. I just would have expected this to look like he was moving faster instead of just looking like a horse grazing. Let's see what the guidebook says for that. The Knave, the Knight, Spirit of the Traveler. The vastness of the world is in front of us and behind us. I guess that shows here. But if I was reading this intuitively, that's not what I would have gotten from the card. Especially because we can't see what's in front or behind this way, only from our perspective, not from his perspective. Oh, she doesn't look very happy. Is there a kitty cat in here? No, no cat? Okay. Maybe that's why she was unhappy. Swords. Oh, look at that. Two of Swords is one of those cards that I look at in a deck. I have to like the Hermit card and the Two of Swords and usually the Nine of Swords. But Two of Swords is my favorite card. And this is beautiful. So interesting that the swords aren't crossed. Wow. Knows the spirit is there. In fact, she's the one with crossed arms instead of the Two of Swords. That is so beautiful. I love that card. Talk about resting. You know, this is a card of rest, but this is eternal rest right there. Interesting that of all cards, this is the card that I think of as with victory, but like a Pyrrhic victory, where you won, but was it worth the cost? And you could see they're very disappointed. But apparently in this deck, what I consider one of the shadowier cards is a positive with a rainbow. This deck is funny. This could have so many meanings. Like being ferried over to Hades. The Ghost is stealing swords, really? I guess once a thief, always a thief, even in death? But won't people just see 4 floating swords and be like, hey, what's going on with our swords? Ooh, look. This is so interesting because we don't, almost all of the other cards have a spirit or ghost in it, and she just looks like an angel. Yeah, I always view this card as the anxiety card. Somebody can't sleep at night because she's haunted. That's what it looks like to me. Ooh. Ooh, this one is dark. So I actually thought at first, why I thought it was so dark is I thought this was the ghost of somebody who stabbed him. Like maybe they killed each other, but no, it's his own ghost. Did he kill himself? Oh, that's extra dark. Oh my God, I think that could be what it's. I mean, it's open to interpretation, but I think it could be. True wisdom is letting things go. Sometimes it is necessary to even let yourself go. That doesn't. It sounds like he did it to himself. I don't know. That's kind of a dark card. I'd imagine that could be a little controversial, especially when combined with the meaning in here. But we're gonna stick to being positive today. So down you go. You have just a few left. Queen of Swords is the card I always tend to identify with. That would be my significator. Very similar body language here. All right. Wow, what did you think of those? So these are standard tarot card size. So let's just do a quick comparison over here. Actually, oh, they're narrow. They're long and narrow. Oh, I forgot about that. That I wanted a longer, narrower deck, and that was part of what sealed the deal for me getting these, because I love it when they're narrower. I like the aesthetic of that. But with these, ironically, I don't see that difference that much. As I do in, say, the Deviant Moon or something like that. So yeah, if you want them to be more standard dimensions, if you crop off the art on top of bottoms and the bottom when you trim, that would get it for you. All right, let's do a little shuffle. A little shuffle. They actually feel, listen to that sound. What on earth? It's amazing how they sound hollow. Anyway, the things we notice. Okay, these fit better in my hands for shuffling. If you saw my video on the Cosmic Tarot, you could see how these don't spring up as much as the other cards did. They still lay flat, even though I have fairly small hands. So, oh, these are nice. They do a nice shuffle. They're definitely stiffer than the AGM cardstock in the Cosmic Tarot, but not as stiff as US Games decks. I'd certainly say this is pretty typical for Lo Scarabeo. Whoops. All right, let's see what card flew out for us to take a look at. Huh. Are you calling me stupid? You calling me stupid? Babo, as we say in Korean, that is the Fool. So let's see what it says. I mean, I'm sure most of us know what the Fool is, but oh, the smile of the traveler. Life is a never-ending journey. The sun rays dispel the shadows and allow us to stop for a short while, but when darkness falls, the journey must continue. A soul that knows how to smile will never be alone on this journey. And he's not alone for long because he has the rest of the Fool's Journey to go through and meet the rest of the major arcana. And he does have his little pup. He's got a doggy there. So, yeah. Doesn't look like he's smiling in the deck. In fact, his lips are quite straight, but that's all right. So this is a good deck for small hands. I have small hands and it fits pretty well in my hands. Something about it being narrower too. I don't know why. It just, even if it's the same length as other decks, it just makes it easier to handle. So usually I have a hard time shuffling tarot size decks like this with the size of my hands, but not with this one. This is pretty easy. And of course it shuffles easy like this, but because they feel long, it really feels like you're pulling them far apart with every shuffle. And yeah, so what are your final thoughts of this deck? I really... fail. My surface is too glossy, I guess. But also these are pretty matte without a coating, so that's why they don't spread as well. But what do you think of these? Did you have a favorite card? Is this a deck that you would consider getting? If you are interested in it, I have links to it in the description below. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you don't have this deck, do you have any decks that are like it? Because I really enjoy it and would love finding more in the same vein. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.